What is up, guys? It is El Sombrero wearing, but it's really small, Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
No Cap.
No Cap.
And today we're back to answer your questions in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below, put a question in front of your question because we go to those questions first. Now, obviously, it's usually 40K questions, but if you have a question about any other part of your life, let us know because we answer those as well. We are certified counselors in the 40K galaxy. This question comes from Gumball, Gunther, and Gizmo Showread. Is a Demon Prince of Chaos Undivided stronger than a single dedicated Chaos Prince? Also, who would win in a fight? In other words, out of all of the Chaos Demon Princes, who is the strongest? What do you think?
Well, are we talking lore or are we talking gameplay? Because on the tabletop, hands down, it's got to be... Oh, I can never pronounce any one of their names. It's like getting alphabet soup, picking up a big old spoonful, and that's their name.
Yeah.
But it's the Tzeentch one.
You think the Tzeentch one? Well, so the problem with the tabletop is that I feel like whoever hits first wins.
Usually, yeah.
So, and then like if you're going to play with an army, then that changes the dynamic completely. But like lore-wise then, out of all of... Because that's also difficult because you can't... Like they have... what is it called? They have plot armor.
Yeah.
So I guess the best way to explain is like just based on the boons that you get, based on the Chaos Gods, which Chaos God do you think has the best boon, and would you rather just be Chaos Undivided?
But even then, boons is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing, where it's like Psychic is good, so it'd be like Tzeentch because you could, turn things to like slugs or like teleport away. But if a corn demon gets up close to you, Psychic
you
can
get murdered.
Yeah.
I think, though, like, out of all of them, I do think that Tzeentch Demon Princes are stronger than Chaos Undivided, Khorne, Nergo.
But then we also got to think about Undivided. You've got Be'lakor, the original Demon Prince.
I actually don't think he's all that great. Like, I read his lore, and it's like, I get it. You trick the Chaos Gods into, like, buffing you up.
Yeah.
But you're just, like, a devil demon.
Right. You'd rather be a stinky demon than a devil demon?
Because now I'm thinking like a greater or a Demon Prince of Nergo, he's immortal. You can't kill.
Well, essentially, all of these are.
No, you could kill. They don't have immortality.
Well, like they're immortal in the sense of like when you kill them, they go back to the warp, and like 10,000 years later or whatever, they can come back.
Oh, but no, like a Demon Prince in terms of like, he started out as a person. Or an alien, and then
got elevated to that. Reached apotheosis.
And I think in that case, yeah, like they don't die because of plot armor, but I think Nergo is the only one that truly gives the boon of immortality. Like you physically cannot die,
and you're happy
all the time.
Yeah, like Nergo monsters, like demons and stuff. They're really great guys.
So I think if I was in the 40K universe and I was trying to attain apotheosis, I'd definitely go for... I don't like small holes. I was going to say Nergo, but I don't know. For me, I think the best of the best is either Nergo or Tzeentch, Demon Prince.
Yeah, but I feel like the ones that get the spotlight the most is usually the Khorne ones. Like you have Ka and Scarbrand. Like those are names that like most people know. Because then you have like Skabeathrax and Ares, Keros, Toasts. See, I don't even know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But Skabeathrax, I think that's the Nergo one, and Ares Keros is the Tzeentch one.
I like how your throat did a thing when you said that.
My throat always does the thing. And then we have the unknown Slaanesh ones, because like who plays Slaanesh?
Yeah, well, GW doesn't want you to play Slaanesh in a weird way.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here's a little bit of Slaanesh stuff, but it's all Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Slaanesh would be the shittiest. Like, well, oh, you give me some tits? Nice. I already had them.
Now you got two more.
Yeah.
But they're all on the same side.
That's true. You can't even, like, play with them either.
Because they're like spiky bits on them.
Yeah. Good question, though. Next question.
Let's keep it in line with Chaos by Rainy Vans. If Tzeentch is a god of chaos, then why is everything always going according to plan?
It's not.
No. because there's always subterfuge and plans behind the plans, and there's little tributaries that stem off of the scheme and that scheme. So it's a big spider web of chaos when you really think about it.
And I just think that Tzeentch is that way because of skills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you showed me the video of that guy who is skateboarding and then he falls and then he does some craziness and, like, jumps back up. I think it's one of those situations. The guy never planned to fall, but he did, and then he was able to react.
Mm-hmm.
So Tzeentch never, like, Tzeentch's plans never go to, like...
Fruition?
Yeah. But because of his skills, he makes something out of it.
He takes that momentum and rolls with it.
Which is what happened to that skateboard guy.
Yeah.
You guys should check it out. Does this have a name? Skateboard Pete?
Probably. I won't go with that. But yeah, so just because things seem to be going a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going on. Again, ambiguity in 40K.
Very much so.
Adeptus Astartes has asked, corn tortillas or corn tortillas?
Corn tortillas are basically moldy tortillas.
That's Nergo tortillas.
No, because like you eat the moldy tortillas and then they give you rabies.
Oh.
And you know how when you get rabies, you're just trying to kill things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the rabies is. You foam at the mouth.
Right. You start biting things.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's just what raccoons normally do.
Oh, you know, it's funny too. The idea of like the werewolf came from moldy bread. Or like I'm saying this wrong, but like so like the mythology of a werewolf and like people turning into werewolves comes from an actual disease that some people would get from eating moldy bread. And I forget what it's called. Is it rabies? I don't think it's rabies, but either way, corn tortillas. Yeah, definitely corn tortillas.
Yeah. The only time I like flour tortillas is for like burritos.
Right.
Because who eats burritos with corn tortillas?
Yeah. This one comes from Alistair Smith. Which race has the overall highest population in the galaxy? That's hard to say. I would say orcs.
That's a fair assumption.
That was actually a really easy question. I don't know why I said that was hard.
Yeah, probably orcs.
Next question.
This one's by first name, last name. What is the difference between a quesadilla and a sincronizada?
I think meat.
Yeah. Because when I think quesadillas, it's just literally cheese and corn tortillas. Or flour.
And then they have different names. Like, I didn't know this, but like in Mexico City, like you have to say, I want a quesadilla con queso.
Like it's in the name.
Yeah. It's just
so it's like I have a cheeseburger with cheese.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, it depends. And then...
Can I get a blowjob with blow?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list.
Oh.
This question comes from Jim Dighton. Can you guys make a video in Spanish? Claro que sí.
Turn on your subtitles.
Yeah. I wonder if YouTube does that yet. Because I know they subtitle our stuff, but I don't know if you could switch it to a different language that we don't speak.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's not a thing because you'd have to have actually people like translating it and actually speaking it.
Well, by now, I think like the technology will do it. Like, because that's what like you can turn on, what is it called?
Google Translate.
No, the subtitles.
Yeah.
So like you could turn that on, and it's not like we do that. That's our like YouTube has some type of algorithm that hears our voices and then creates the subtitles.
Usually it's like the wrong words, especially with 40K.
And because I slur my words, and I have an accent, and I hate my life.
That usually does it for me.
Yeah.
You could really hear the depression in the subtitles.
That's why you guys watch us, right? Because it's like one of these days.
One of these days.
We just won't be around.
But that's everybody. That's life.
Well, not necessarily, because I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about how, like, we should try to attain immortality. He wasn't saying that. Some other guy was saying it. And it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah. I think he was talking to Mike Tyson, and he was like, I'll do anything
to be immortal.
Yeah, because they were talking about different rehabilitation techniques, like after a workout and stuff like that. like with stem cells and yeah.
But I mean, with Elon Musk, did you hear about that? Like, there's a
Yeah,
thing
with
you
the
can put in
pig.
your head, and you can input memories and save memories, and it's like, whoa.
I think that's a little too far-fetched. Like, I don't think they can do that, but I do think that I can see within our lifetime that little chip actually helping paralyzed people do things. And if that's true, then like that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, that's like literally some like Ghost in the Shell type stuff,
like Iron Hands, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched Ghost in the Shell.
It's like Iron Hands, kind of.
Next question.
This one's by Sean O.G. Pendergast. On a power level, how close would a fully restored Catan be to a Chaos God, or even the Big E himself?
Probably like a 7.
Yeah, because I mean they're able to like eat stars and stuff like that. Like you hear stories of like a single Catan shard going loose and like ravaging whole worlds and destroying entire armies.
Yeah, super loose.
Mm-hmm. Which is like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Have you guys seen those TikToks? Have you seen those TikToks of like they throw a hot dog and the girl's supposed to catch it in their mouth and then they do the slow-mo?
I have not.
So that's exactly what's happening in the 40K universe.
Is it a hot dog or is it like what's it called? A Wiener Schnitzel?
I don't know the difference.
We'll find out in another For the Greater War.
This question comes from Ian Cron. Are there any human worlds with Dark Age of technology culture that still exists outside of the Imperium's control? There was, and I'm going to create a 40 facts video on them. It wasn't just one planet. It was like a conglomeration of different planets that decided to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to do that because of some warp storm.
Yeah, because warp storms tend to cut off like certain sections of space. But it's interesting because when I think of a warp storm, I just think of like a portion of the galaxy being cut off. But it's like the galaxy is a 3-dimensional space. Can't you just go like over it, under it?
I think the warp storm is the tunnels. So like you know how you
How they travel and stuff.
yeah, and they're supposed to be like warp gates.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the storm is there, so every ship that goes there ends up some other place or ends up dying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can get to that place, but traveling it at light speed will take you forever.
Yeah, that does make sense because they say when they do find these places, they're like super like less in technology, like they haven't advanced and stuff like that because of being cut off.
Yeah.
This question seems to be up your alley.
Mm.
Michael Sherman. What do I definitely need to include in my homebrew Aztec-themed Necron dynasty?
Feathers.
Mm-hmm. Because you're trying to do an Aztec Primaris Marines.
Yep. What did you say?
What does he need for Aztec Necrons?
Yeah, feathers. There's actually a video on Instagram. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up because we put it in the group chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up because the guy did a kit bash, Mexican like with a sombrero and a guitar, a Necron, and it's hilarious. Dia de los Necrons. I'm gonna pull up his Instagram page. But yeah, feathers. If you can somehow kit bash so that the weapons that they hold is that I forget what it's called but it's like it's kind of like a wooden
Kind of like the paddle looking thing.
Yeah, like a paddle with like what is it called, blades attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy on Instagram is Lynn's Miniatures and he created a Mexican Necron. It's really funny, so you should check it out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely check out the Lizardmen from Age of Sigmar, because I'd say they're pretty much themed in like Aztec lore and stuff like that. So you could get a few like conversion pieces there.
Yes. Next question.
This one's by SGT Asshammer. Would y'all ever be interested in filming some tabletop games that y'all play?
Yeah, I want to do that, but the problem is that I want to do like good games.
Yeah. Not where it's all one-sided or...
Yeah.
I think in 9th edition it's too early to see what the balance is.
And my army's not painted, so I think it would be really annoying for you guys to watch half-painted, really shitty army. going up against another one, and then also the terrain's not that great. So there's a lot of steps to get to that point. Because I want to be like the what is it?
40K in 40 minutes, dudes.
Those guys are beasts.
Yeah, that's like next level. That's like movie level cinematography, like on 40K.
And it's entertaining. Like when you get the cuts, because we try to do that too. Where like we try to throw in our 2 cents about how the game is going, but it just comes off as like dumb. But they do it beautifully. It's like, oh, cool. Like you want to keep watching. You care about the people that are playing.
Yeah, definitely. But in the meantime, we do have some like 40K games on the channel. We've got some narrative battle reports for Kill Team. Though I think the Kill Team's one's the best one we have, because the other ones are like, they're really old and they're not as edited as well and stuff.
And then the good thing about like nowadays is because 40K in the YouTube community is so like there's so many channels and they're really, really good that everybody's kind of biting off of each other, and it's just progressing the quality, not just for battle reports, also for like lore, because that's the reason that I started doing the Blessed is the Mind, Too Small for Doubt, because I started watching like Maniac. I'm like, oh cool, like I want to do something like that. Whereas before, like we only had mini wargaming to go off of, and their battle reports are good. It's just that
sometimes like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's a lot to sit through. And
I think like just those videos that we have, we're basing it off of like, oh, this is how mini wargaming would do it. This must mean this is what people want to watch.
Right.
And now we kind of learn like, oh no, 40 that place. What was it? The
Play on Tabletop is their actual channel.
Those guys are doing it right.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's really where mini wargaming like really shows you the step by steps, the whole game. These guys just focus on like key parts. They summarize. You really get like it's quick. It's entertaining.
You could watch it in a lunch break or start it in a lunch break, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
This next question comes from me. Is Nergo a better father than the Emperor? Nergo seems to be genuinely more caring about his subjects than the Emperor. Of course, he lets you live forever. He gives you gifts.
He makes you happy.
Yeah. When skies are gray.
He wipes your tears whenever you feel a little bit sad.
He names you Chucky.
That's an interesting name.
Chucky? It's short for...
Charles.
Xavier.
Is he reading my mind?
Next question.
This one's by Pedro Revici. He's asking again.
Again?
What happened to the gods of the human pantheon? I know in many religions and mythologies there were many gods throughout the globe. Is it possible that they're still within the warp? So I assume you're talking about like Jesus, Poseidon, Zeus, Miguelito, Bridget B, Hades, those people, those gods.
They have, I'm pretty sure there's an imprint of them in the Immaterium, but they're not as strong as like the chaos gods and stuff like that.
Yeah, because when humanity started to rise and fall and whatnot, religion was quickly like torn asunder.
And a lot of those figures were actually demons. There's a story of a certain corn demon that humanity started seeing like a lot of alien species like erected like statues of this one particular demon, and it was consistent and it matched the look of like what we consider the devil. And then it turns out that no, this just it's a named demon. I don't know his name, but yeah.
Be'lakor did stuff like that throughout the whole galaxy.
Oh, it probably was Be'lakor, yeah. But yeah, so most of them were demons, and some of them are imprinted in the Immaterium.
Yeah, they could be like really minor gods if enough people believe them, but currently it's like all about the Emperor.
All about.
If you believe another god, that is heresy.
Yeah, no empieces con tus falsas. No, how do you say it?
Falsas prometas de amor.
Sure, we'll do that. Next question.
This one's by Hard Base Doge. If an orc war boss and a Primaris Marine armed wrestled, who would win?
Orc war boss, because he has a power claw, he would rip the dude's hand off.
That is true. But Primaris Marines are new.
And they have plot armor.
Pug Lover 253. Do you think that the Chaos Gods play giant games of hungry, hungry hippos?
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, just smacking that little lever near the posterior of the hippos. I'm sure Slanesh is into that.
Yeah, turns me on.
Too. I always put my finger in their mouths.
Yeah, I would put other things in their mouth. Lord Devilfish asks, what Warhammer faction has the hottest women?
Which one's nearest to the sun?
Terra.
Yeah, probably
I mean, I guess
Imperium.
which sun, right?
Yeah, right.
I think I've seen some fan art of some thick Earthcast Tau. So I'm gonna say the Tau.
Yeah, I was about to say the Aldar, but once you actually step back and take a good look at the Tyranids, that's those Norn queens.
Oh yeah, their head crest is basically just a giant vagina. Who doesn't want to look at that every day? It's like when you're like, if balls were hanging on your chin.
Which actually that's the case for
me.
for Hugh Jackman. He actually had that.
Hugh Jackman had his balls hanging from his chin.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It was in movie 41, I think it was. It was like a really like raunchy, cheesy like comedy that came out like 4 or 5 years ago.
Having balls on your chin is just like you're asking to get punched. Well, you're not asking, but like...
It's funny because like I think he was eating soup and he like dipped them in his soup and he was like, oh, it's hot.
Oh, I've never had that. But you know, you can taste through your balls. We talked about this a while back, but if you get some soy sauce and you dip your balls in soy sauce, you could actually get the taste in your mouth. It has to do with meiosis or something like that. But you should try it out and comment down below. Let me know how different is it from just like regular tasting soy sauce or doing it with your balls.
And I think soy sauce is definitely the starting point.
Yeah, and then you move on to like something hot and spicy.
Like soy sauce.
Yeah. Just spicy soy sauce. Habanero soy sauce.
There you go.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. If we didn't get to your question, please comment down below again with the same question, and we'll try to answer it next week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. As always, this has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any